there might be some justice when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein case, because it turns out that one of his confidants, a person who played a key role in his sex trafficking ring, has been arrested by the FBI. That's of course Ghislaine Maxwell, who both had a sexual relationship with him and also helped him prey on young girls, which unfortunately he never really faced justice for. Now, in an indictment, Ms. Maxwell was accused of helping Epstein recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse multiple girls, including one as young as 14 years old. She was arrested in New Hampshire, of all places. So the FBI did the work it needed to do to find her. She has been arrested. William Sweeney Jr., the head of the FBI office in New York, said at a news conference that Maxwell was arrested in Bradford, New Hampshire. The authorities had been discreetly keeping tabs on Maxwell's whereabouts and recently learned that she had moved into a gorgeous mansion in the state. So to give you some more details about the kind of relationship she had with Epstein, the New York Times reports that Audrey Strauss, the US attorney for the Southern District of New York, said that Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, then delivered them into the trap that she and Epstein had set for them. As a result, victims were made to feel indebted and believed that Maxwell and Epstein were trying to help them. And also Maxwell was accused by many women of recruiting them to give Epstein massages, during which they were pressured into sex. Those accusations until now never resulted in criminal charges.
So there's a twist here that almost no one is talking about that I'm gonna get to in a second. But first, can we all agree ahead of time that if Ghislaine Maxwell dies in a jail cell, it was not suicide? I'm telling you right now, she just got arrested by the FBI. If they pull that crap again, the video camera was out and her roommate had been moved out and everybody was on a break and golly gee, she happened to commit suicide as well. Well, then you know that yes, people at the very top of the government are actually part of a pedophile ring and had her killed. So now that's seems to be what happened to Jeffrey Epstein, but you could argue no. I mean, he was in a bad situation, and committing suicide is somewhat rational in that situation. But if it happens twice, no, there's absolutely no chance of it happening twice as a coincidence. 0% chance. So should she fear for her life? Of course. Look, when that Epstein so-called suicide happened, I said at the time, look, the key here is there are video cameras in the hallway. If the video camera in the hallway works, then you'll see if people went into the cell or if they didn't go to the cell and he actually committed suicide. So it's actually fairly easy to tell, and I make no judgment ahead of time, right? But if they say that magically that's the one camera that wasn't working in the jail, well, then you know what happened. Many weeks later, very much under the radar, they said, that's the one camera that wasn't working. Okay, well, all right, maybe, but very, very, very unlikely. So look, I heard recently a story about that from a person I trust, that about really wealthy people having sex parties on a very consistent basis. Powerful, wealthy people, connected people. So now, is it possible that some of them liked underage girls and that Epstein was the person who would arrange those specific kind of parties? It's not only possible, we know for a fact that it did happen. Now the question is, how powerful were they and how wealthy were they? And Maxwell is often described as his madam. She would lure the girls in. She would make, her role is particularly disgusting, and it's actually unbelievable that she didn't get arrested until now. They should have all been arrested in the late 1990s, early 2000s. Epstein, of course, was famously arrested and then let go by, a prosecutor that wound up being in Donald Trump's cabinet. Look at that. I mean, a lot of the right wing are like, Hillary Clinton had Epstein murdered. Hillary Clinton doesn't run the government right now. I don't know if you know that. The person who runs the government is Donald Trump. His attorney general, who is ultimately responsible for all the people that are, under the supervision of the FBI, is William Barr. It was William Barr who was Attorney General when Epstein committed suicide in prison, okay? So she would get 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, according to the allegations, and take them to the movies, talk to them about sex, and then tell them everything is okay. You're just modeling, you're just giving a massage. Sometimes she'd stay in the room. Sometimes she would apparently participate to make them feel more comfortable as Epstein molested them and then raped them. So that's who this person is. The fact that she was freely walking around for decades after these crimes shows you that there are two justice systems in America. One for the rest of us and one for the super rich. So finally, where's the twist here? Well, if you remember, the guy who was the head of the Southern District of New York, the US attorney there, Berman, was just fired by Bill Barr. And lo and behold, about a week later, his replacement, who they did not want her as the replacement, Strauss, the person Anna just told you about, Berman had to fight like hell. And after enormous public pressure, finally Barr was like, fine, Strauss. But they didn't want Strauss in there and they fired Berman. And lo and behold, it looks like they were just on the precipice of arresting Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. Are those two things connected? I genuinely don't know. But if you're not asking questions about that, there's something wrong with you, because that is, hey, why did you fire Berman and not give a reason? Oh, look, a week later, they arrest Epstein's girlfriend. Could those be connected? Of course they could be connected. So I would have said any case that happens a week or two after the Berman firing is something that should draw a lot of attention, because that was what was coming down the pike, and the Attorney General knew it was coming down the pike. So, and right now, I don't see any reporter asking that question.
Jeez, you make such a good point. I didn't even think about that, but tying those two together definitely leads one to, at a bare minimum, wonder, speculate, and it should be investigated by reporters who have the resources to do that. That's insane. And I do want to just remind everyone that one of the powerful people tied to this case is Prince Andrew. And so authorities are hoping to get Prince Andrew to cooperate with them and talk to them, but it's unlikely that that's gonna happen. So on Thursday, Ms. Strauss, attorney for the Southern District of New York, said federal prosecutors would still like to speak to Prince Andrew. The investigation is ongoing, and officials urged others who might have been victims to contact the authorities. And of course, for those of you who might not be following the story closely, Prince Andrew was accused by one of the victims of having sex with her when she was a minor. And he gave a disastrous interview trying to clear things up, and he did not clear things up. It led to more questions than answers.
Guys, let's keep it real. Prince Andrew is an absolute nobody. He's royalty in name only. No one cares. He has no real power. He can't control anything. It ain't about Prince Andrew. It's about someone with actual power. And I genuinely don't know who that is. How would I know, right? But we do know Bill Clinton went to his parties. That's just a reality. So if you're a Democrat and that makes you uncomfortable, sad day for you. So those two are connected. They hung out. It's entirely possible that they hung out and Jeffrey Epstein gave a lot of money to Clinton and they did nothing else. Now, the other guy who went to Epstein's parties all the time was Donald Trump. It's entirely possible that Trump didn't do anything and they were just friends. But Trump said, Epstein likes girls that are really young. He said it on the record because it's Donald Trump. He says the quiet parts out loud. He knows that Epstein is partying with underage girls, and he knows what that means. And did he participate? I don't know. Is he organizing any of this? He's probably too incompetent to organize things like this. But I'll tell you what, if someone is behind it, to be able to get people to turn off a camera and go on a break and organize all those things inside of a prison, that is someone incredibly powerful. It's not Prince Andrew. When you sign up for a spend and save account at aspiration.com/TYT, we will plant 10 trees. Let's save the planet together.